Hello and welcome into NCC News at 4:45. I'm Clayton Dyer.
And I'm Marcus White. New York State standardized testing begins tomorrow, but a local movement is speaking out against Common Core standards. That's tonight's top story. Common Core testing is set to start tomorrow in New York State as students in grades 3 through 8 will be tested in math and English over the next 2 weeks. But many parents and education activists have spoken out against the testing and oppose the, quote, one-size-fits-all reform agenda, unquote. NCC News reporter Molly Smith joins us now to talk about why so many parents are having their children opt out. Molly?
Opting out is becoming a growing trend among students and parents in New York State, and in particular, Central New York. I spoke with several parents involved in Opt Out CNY, a group of students, parents, and education activists who support public education but discourage standardized testing.
Really testing our kids for what they know, or testing our kids for what they might know.
Tanya Wilson is a parent of 3 daughters ranging from elementary to high school in the West Genesee School District. She became involved in the Opt-Out CNY movement about 4 years ago.
And I've found that a lot of those assessment tools are not necessarily an accurate gauge of how our students are actually performing in the classroom. They don't really give the teachers the information that New York State Ed claims that it gives the teachers to help them change their curriculum delivery.
Wilson is not alone in her views. The opt-out movement has gained significant traction in New York State, especially as seen in last year's testing participation rates. Education officials said that the overall opt-out rate was 20% statewide, with some of the highest rates seen in Onondaga County. 40% of eligible testing students in the East Syracuse School District opted out of math testing, while 33% in Onondaga opted out of English language arts. Syracuse City School District had some of the lowest opt-out rates in the county, with just 10% opting out of math. As a parent and a teacher, Chris Cerrone has a different perspective. He teaches middle school social studies in the Hamburg Central School District and says his students come to 7th grade without much knowledge of history or the critical thinking skills that go along with it. He says, quote, I've seen how testing has caused schools to narrow their curriculum, particularly the focus in elementary schools becomes around math because they want to keep test scores up. Cerrone goes on to say, as a teacher, I can see the harm. As a parent, I can see the result. Now, the New York State Education Department has recently hired a new company to develop and improve future assessments by reducing the number of test questions and alleviating time constraints for students. Now, whether those measures will be implemented in tomorrow's testing, we will have to see. Marcus and Clayton, back to you.
Thanks, Molly. We will continue to follow this story over the next few weeks to see what the opt-out rates are for this year's testing.